Okay, I'm going to do a short video here about probiotics. Bear with me, this isn't going to be a high quality video, but the information is going to be very high quality. So, they did a study with a probiotic called Rutiri. It's also one of the Primordiophilis, and just so you know, there's more bacteria in your gut than there are human cells in the rest of your body. And they line your small intestine, and even to a lesser extent your large intestine. And there's so much surface area in there. And there's a coating of it in your intestine, so much that it's basically almost like your skin, because you've got about 3 times your body, about 5 times your body length of your small intestine. And there's convolutions all along it and a lot of surface area for the absorption of the food. Well, you can't absorb food without these beneficial bacteria that aren't part of your body, yet they are part of your body. Your body hijacks them to use it, and without it you're going to die. So the good gut bacteria keeps you alive, and the bad stuff inhibits calcium absorption, nutrient absorption, all kinds of bad stuff. Well, anyway, back to this test. So, and you can look this up on YouTube, the test for the Rutiri. So the 2 control groups, one was just regular mice, and they threw them in water and till they just about drowned. They pulled them out and timed them, and then the other test group, they gave them Rutiri, the probiotic, and then they put them in the water, and those guys went 10 times as long. They produced less cortisol. Then they severed the vagus nerve. They redid the test, but this time they severed the vagus nerve on the group that had been taking the Rutiri, and they lasted as long as the one that weren't taking the probiotic. You've heard of people thinking with their gut, or I feel this in my gut. You almost have as much nerves going to your gut as there are in your spinal column. It's almost like a hindbrain, to be honest with you. So anyway, this Rutiri and a lot of the other probiotics stop cortisol and regulate cortisol production in the body, which can cause adrenaline fatigue and various other things. So anyway, so you need to up your probiotic load. I tell this to people all the time. This is probably going to be the last video I do on this, so I'm doing this to send people to this. I'm not going to explain it to you anymore. I'm just going to send you to this video. So your intestine and your large intestine also has it, and it's called Rutiri. And where is the Rutiri? Here it is. So you can buy this stuff already, live cultures, and there's usually like a billion in each pill. So anyway, let's look at some things that you should be taking. That I tell this to every person all the time. Okay, you should be taking D3, vitamin D3, not D2. D2 is the crap they put in milk. It's Tropicol D3, and you could take 10,000 international units. Back when I used to be an NCOIC at BAMC, when somebody came in and they had a heart attack, they'd give them like a shot of 50,000 units, because most people are totally lacking in vitamin D. They're so inside all the time. They cover up. When you get sick during the winter, it isn't because it's cold, it's because you've covered up. There's less sunlight, and then you cover up and you don't go outside. D3 is almost like a master hormone of your body, almost. It's not really a hormone, it's not really vitamin, it kind of bridges the gap. You should also be taking black seed oil. It's also known as black cumin. I've got some right here. It's one of the better things you can take. Take about a tablespoon in the morning and a teaspoon at night. I get a little bit left over sometimes, and I'll rub it on, like if my dog has a cut, or if I have a weird cut that looks like it's in a bad place, and I'll rub some on my hair. Now, if you go to timbosplace.com and look at my old weightlifting videos, specifically the ones where I'm curling and the ones, the one where I'm doing a one-arm deadlift, I've got a huge bald spot. And that was about 4 years ago I shot that. Now, I should either maintain the same amount of hair or I should have less hair. I actually have more hair since I've been rubbing this stuff on here. And you can get it at most health food stores. Black seed oil, there's a bunch of different kinds. They're all pretty much, the stuff tastes awful. I would imagine it tastes pretty much like kerosene. I've never tasted kerosene, but it's kind of nasty tasting. But anyway, just go through it. And I've rubbed some on my head. I do it every day, but maybe twice a week. And I've grown some of my hair back now. How much have I grown back? Maybe 15%. But I don't even rub it on there every day. I only rub it there a couple days a week. So anyway, it'll do that. And there's guys that'll rub it on their junk and swear it makes it grow. I haven't really actually tried that. So D3, black seed oil, apple cider vinegar. Bragg's the best one. Again, this is apple cider vinegar helps probiotic growth in your body. It does all kinds of things. You can look up the benefits of apple cider vinegar and spend all day on YouTube looking for it, all day on the web looking about it. Sauerkraut. Now, don't get the canned sauerkraut. Go to a health food store and get the live active. It'll be in the chilled food section. The sauerkraut. Kombucha tea. This stuff right here. There's different kinds of it. It's a fermented drink, and it's loaded with probiotics, polyphenols, and enzymes, and it'll help your. Oh, look, there's Mr. Spock. I don't know what he's doing here in the garage. Anyway, what are you doing? Okay, well, anyway, that's Mr. Spock. He's wandered out here in the garage telling me to do this. Kombucha tea, kefir. Where's the kefir? Here's some kefir. Kefir is fermented milk. Now, I usually get the ones with blueberry in them, and I'll cover that blueberries in a little bit. Plain or blueberry is the way to go, simply because blueberry has anthocyanins in it, which is, and blueberries are good for your memory. So you either go plain or get the ones with blueberries in it. That's the way I do. You can eat about an ounce of dark chocolate a day. Make sure it's 70% or better dark chocolate. And then rotate your probiotics. Again, all these things you don't have to take every day, but you need to take them occasionally. Like you could take the black seed oil every day. I recommend taking D3 at least 10,000 units. You can do it 4 times a week. You don't have to do it every single day, but you need to take these a couple of times a week. So rotate your probiotics. Oh, here's another chocolate thing. You can buy these souped up chocolate drinks. There's one of them right here. This one has a mixture of coconut water in it. Coconut water is also good. Coconut oil is excellent. It's got lauric acid and medium chain triglycerides. During World War II, when we were doing the island hopping and the soldiers would get hit, they didn't have IV bags to keep to stop hypovolemic shock. So what they do is they would take the water out of coconuts, which is really close to the fluid in an IV bag. It's actually only one molecule difference, so it would save a lot of lives. So coconuts can keep you alive. If you ever see any of those stupid shows where they survive, if you can just get a couple of you get on a desert island, you find some coconuts, you can stay alive. There's the milk of the coconut, the water of the coconut, and then the meat of the coconut. Then there's kimchi. Oh, and rotate your probiotics. So get the Good Belly shot, and then get the Ruteri once a week. And most of them have multiple kinds of organisms in them. So rotate them around so you can keep a good thing of fauna in your body. Then there's kimchi, which I can't stand, and regular yogurt. I don't actually do that. Here's some other things you need to take. Coenzyme Q10. When they discovered that, the The term describing it was ubique, meaning everywhere. It's in all the cells, but it's really heavy in your heart cells. You know, there's 3 kinds of muscle in your body. There's smooth, cardiac, and skeletal muscles. So there's a whole bunch in your heart. Vitamin E. Now, here's the thing: you can't really take vitamin E in a capsule. Maybe there is one that has all 5 to 7 kinds of recognized vitamin E balanced. But if you take too much of one, it will stop you from absorbing the other. So just get you a handful of nuts, and if you put the nuts in your hand to your fingers, that's about a serving. Now, if you can stop yourself from just eating that much, because that's all you're going to be able to absorb, then do it that way. If not, then chop it up and put it on something else. Almost every meal you should chop up a little bit of onions and garlic and eat it with whatever you're eating. The sulfur compounds in there and the compounds in the garlic will help keep you healthy. And also throw as much turmeric and black powder. If you put them together, they perform a synergistic effect. Another thing you should be taking and throwing on everything is chia seeds. Yeah, that kind of chia seeds that you make the chia pets out of. One of the most nutritious things on earth. Like if you have to eat a pizza, throw a bunch of chia seeds on. They don't really have any, they're really small and they don't really have any taste to them, but they're one of the best things you could eat. So anyway, that's what you should be doing. So let's go to the big board here. So here are some of my I got a website, timbosplace.com. I also have several YouTube channels: Tim Moynihan, Pat Moynihan, Patrick Moynihan, Edward Moynihan. I do the heaviest downloads on Pat and Patrick Moynihan. Another thing, I noticed this growing up. When I was in school, there was a food pyramid. And you know, you had your different kinds of servings they recommended. Well, then they came out with another one. And this one, not only did it have meat, but it had dairy. It's separated from this one. Well, if you look down underneath it, it was sponsored by the U.S. Dairy Council. So I figured that out a long time ago. You follow the money. Well, they've come out with a new guideline, which is much better. And it looks kind of like this. They still have a dairy, but they'll also count soy or almond milk as a dairy. Then they have a protein, which is, it isn't meat. It doesn't necessarily have to be meat anymore. It could be tempeh or a legume. Then they want you to go by the color. So blue, you know, orange or red for your carrots, but the blue has the anthocyanin in it, which is the good things in blueberries. And then the orange would be your beta carotene, and then go with another color. And anyway, so the new food guidelines are at least almost in the right direction now. Anyway, that's all I got. Thanks.